Okay, so just a quick intro from my side, then we'll get started. So my name is Manjunatha. I represent 3M Global Technology Center, the GCC arm in India, and we are based out in Carle, next to the Manjunatha. Predominantly, our focus is around all digital initiatives for the 3M. And I am from Dharmasthala, on a funny note. Okay. Let's get started. What happened? Anybody can tell? What is that? Transformation, right. I'm not a fan of, no, by the way, Pushpa, but I love the movie. But see, the picture I put is basically, look at the time, right? 2021 and 2024. If you look at the kind of transformation we're in, right? So the definition of transformation is going to be changed, or it is getting changed in the modern world. It is accelerated. Earlier, transformation is to take its own time. If you look at the history from paper to digital, or maybe on-premise to the cloud, or from the handheld to the mobiles, it took its own time, right? It took decades. And still, there are many organs still in the legacy world. But the future is not going to be like that. It is going to be accelerated, and the human, the centric approach with respect to the technology industry is going to be changed. And currently also it is being changed because of the artificial intelligence evolution, right? So let's come back to typical data engineering, right? I think if you look at this standard, the process, what happens, I taken a sample example of standard data pipelines, how it works. Typically, we'll have a data sources and it will get ingested, and then we'll put into storage and warehousing, and we'll put it to visualizations, right? Through analytics or the BI tools. So this is the standard most of the tools or the frameworks will do. So what happens, right? How we can bring intelligence to that? I think that is possible because of the evolution of the AI, right? And so this change is going to be very small, but the impact is going to be very big, especially on the data pipelines, right? And usually, if you take any organizations, right, we do have a standard questions, right? Or most frequently we discuss, we don't have a budget for AI, right? These are the standard things, or maybe we'll do it in the next year, and also we'll say we are in a POC mode, we are not in mode with production. And some organizations say still our AI teams are not formed, we have a strategy for that, right? We are still watching technology evolution. So so why I put these questions for, I think this is what the challenges, or maybe frequent discussion we will have it with our stakeholders, right? Predominantly when you want to bring something new, the technology. See, the transformation in the data is going to be the easy change if you embrace the technology. Maybe we'll take a couple of examples how we can now make that happen. So typically, what is change in data engineering, right? I think typically the schema changes, either in our upstream or the downstreams. There were 10 fields, and somehow it became 12 fields, or the customer requested something, it will become remove 2 fields or add 2 more fields, right? These are the kind of standard the change. That is the definition of change in data engineering, right, when it comes to schema. And data source changes also. We have a mainframe source, we change it to SAP, and we move to CSV or many other different integration companies, either in the form of JSON or CSV. And data volume is also one of the important the change, right? Today we're used to see in MB, then we'll move to GBs, depending on the business. And how we can fix this change in the data engineering, right? See, there's one small example which I would like to quote. Maybe I will take an example of the schema changes, which is quite often, and it is going to happen, whichever the business, whichever the company, whichever the corporate it is, because of the business changes. New dimensions of the data will be introduced, right? So what is my recommendation and my views is that, see, this change can be done with any full stack developer who knows or maybe any data engineer who knows, earlier data pipelines, how to develop, how to ingest by introducing, the AI. So what is the example now I would like to take is here. Take an example of, usually schema, how we can build a schema inference, right? The smartness. So maybe I'll just put one of the source code here. So look at this on the right side, right? The change looks, I think that is only the code you have to write in your data pipelines. So what I used was, I think, there is a concept of system prompt. We use the system prompt and you define, saying that, what is the role of that with your prompts. Be very clear, and you can write whatever you want it, right? In this example, basically, I've taken only the CSV. Instead of CSV, you can write saying that, you are a data engineer, only process this, limit this. All your, even you can even take care of your hallucinations also here. I heard some questions in the previous session. Even you can use that. So you put your system prompt, and then your user prompt, right? Then the LLMs, whichever the LLMs you want, you can use it based on the licenses, what you have it. Then you are going to get the data. So what it does is, it will give you any kind of, the schema, the changes, what happened, right? And dynamically it will detect. Simple example is, let's take an example. I have 5 fields, but the data source is coming with a 6th field. Then it will dynamically, smartly identify the 6th field, and also it will make sure that you can have 2 options. One is you validate it, or even you can make in your destination as the 6th column. It is also going to update your destination schema also. So what happens in this case, it is self-healing. Otherwise, typically what happens as a data engineers, we do is, if any new field comes, we'll update our mapping document, and we'll put all the schema story for that data fields and also the data types. Then we'll update our source. Then we'll update our mapping or transformation engine. Then we'll update the destination schema, right? Look at the kind of effort what it is. Instead of that one, we can make it is totally the dynamic. It's a self-healing. And it works in, initially it looks little patchy, but once you established the good prompts, I think the importance is to coming up with a good system prompt, right? User prompt is very easy to build, but system prompts that's where the trick is. If you build a very good system prompts, then it will act like that. You can be very clear. You can say that only source if there is CSV, only ingest if there is an Excel, or if it is a greater than 20 MB, stop it, right? Or log it. Everything you can do it in your system prompts. So, and you can user prompts. You can just use it for pushing the data to your destination, the source. So this is a simple example. So look at kind of effort, right? This is a classic example. Change is minimal. The impact is going to be big. Because most of the data pipelines, the schema changes is going to be the common scenario. And you can use a small, the code change, and you can put it to, this code can go to any of your existing the data pipelines, whether you use a Terraform, TerraGrant, whatever you call, right? Or maybe you have a regular ERP tools, the BA tools, right? So, data ingestion pipeline tools also you can use it because there are many ways you can even embed, the script from outside as one of the steps, right? So this is an example I would like to quote in the schema changes. So similarly, we can do it for any change, even this is purely based on the prompting. So, and again, we can keep grooming our prompts and make system prompt is more stronger, and so that you will get a consistent the response. In a typical, if you put it in a user prompts, what happens? Your response will not be consistent, but the system prompts will make sure that you'll always get it in a consistent response. So that way, your pipelines will become self-healing, and you can. That is where you are building an intelligence to that, right? And you can build this kind of thing for across all the things. So maybe I would like to put one more the example here, the data volume. I think so. This is also one of the prompt, say where you can say what exactly you want, right? Volume, latency, error rate, everything you can log it, right? And this is what AI will finally tell you. The ingestion volume is high and latency is increasing with the notables, and please do something. And even you can ask what needs to be done. So with a small lines of code, you can bring a smartness to your data pipelines. And yes, it is AI based, right? So please start looking at in this in your organization, see wherever there is an opportunity, try to leverage this thought process. And also some of the other things, right, if you look at how we can do it for the business also. Some of the examples what I quoted was for the live transactions, right? Even you can build this kind of a smart pipelines. Then you can put your ML, the predict stock levels, demand surges, right? Then it is going to impact your, the stockouts, reduce stockouts. So there are big business problem also can be solved with a small change of code. And this works really wow. Actually, I tested in person around 20 to 30 fields with a complex data sets, and it works like magic. Okay, and also you can do multiple things. Even if something goes wrong, okay, log my schema changes, or maybe update my destination schema. Everything you can do. And also the one more thing is some questions around the hallucinations, right? That also you can stop it. Let's take an example. If you identify the schema change, dynamic schema change, instead of 5 fields, you got the 6 fields. Then you can take the 6 fields and you can have your master data set, or you call it as a goal data set. The goal data set, you can map it, saying that is it the right schema or the right data, and do the map. And if it is fine, then go ahead and update the destination schema. So there are multiple ways you can embed the intelligence. So that way, I think your pipelines will become more smarter. And I do see this is going to be, the future in terms of data pipelines. And there are a couple of examples, like a proactive monitoring also you can use it. Okay, it is very simple and crisp. So over to the questions. Any questions? Yeah.